Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel.
I'll try and make a third person thing with just a puppet for like that aiming down the sights mode, because that will probably work okay for this. So if I go and just stick a camera in there, whoa, and just go over like this, like it was an over the shoulder thing. So I just place the camera and I use L1 and X, and you can scope into the camera and just move around as normal. And you can see on the end of the imp it shows a camera. That means you're still in it, and then you can just scope out and then it will be in that view. So it makes it really easy to adjust that. So I'll put the camera out just in the puppet group like that, and I'll move it around to the view I want. And then I'll put a chip in exactly the same place. So I've got a chip out, and I'll turn on the grid snap and use L1 and triangle to use the camera's like orientation and position and that. And then I'll grab another object, press triangle, and that will snap it to whatever grid is currently active. So now that can snap onto the same position and the same orientation. So I'll just put that camera in here and press triangle on that so that it uses the default position of the chip, and I'll move it over again. So now this view is the same, but it's in a chip. And now I can put other stuff in the chip. So we want to be able to look up and down and left and right. So I'll go left and right first. So I'll have a rotator which affects the puppet. So you just wire affected objects onto the puppet itself. I'll use L1 and triangle to reset it by instead of on an object, which you use that object's orientation on that, I'll do it on the sky, and now that's just default. And then I'll drag that up. So now this rotator will rotate it around like that. And then I want to use the right stick local. So normal right stick, where you get it from here, is like if you're looking down this direction, then pushing up will point in that direction up there. And if I look in this direction, it will point in that direction. So it'll be different based on the way the camera is facing. But the left stick and right stick local will just be the up, down, left and right. So if I get a splitter gadget, I'll turn off the grid and wire that in. Normally it's just a thin wire like this, where it's just one colour. This is a fat wire because it has lots of colours and they're all like intertwined like it's a braided cable. So it's known as a fat wire. And each of those individual wires, just like this, carries one value. So there's one value for X and one value for Y. And now the splitter gadget can get both of those out separately. So then we got a red wire, which is X coming through here, and it comes out here as just X. And then the green wire, which is Y coming through here, and then it comes out of the splitter over here. So X is left and right, and Y is up and down on the right stick. So when we push left and right, we want to rotate the puppet. So I'll put full rotation strength on that, and then I'll just wire that into here. So, oh yeah, we need to set this to remote controllable. This means that instead of you having to possess an object with R2 or something, it will just output whatever the controller is saying. Oh, I'm using Y, I should have been using X. So we've got X going into here, and now it's multiplying, that's why it has this X, multiplying the, when you push like left on the stick, it's giving you a negative number for X, and a positive number if you push right. So that's what's happening. It's giving us a -1 when I'm pushing left, and it's multiplying by 180. So that's like affecting how the puppet will rotate now. So if I play time, so when I'm pushing left, it's rotating right. If I push right, it's rotating left. So I need to flip this over. So we could multiply it by -1, or we can just change this to -180. and now it's doing the same thing, but it's going to be not flipped anymore. So if I play in here, now it's rotating just as normal. Oh, we need to, I'll just set this to auto possess, which is down here, force possession. And yeah, so I can still move around as normal, just like that. So now we want to look up and down. For that, instead of it being what you're actually holding to move up and down, we want to kind of, so if we go timeline, so you see those timelines in the rig you were using. This would be a similar thing, where you keyframe the puppet and this thing to rotate, to look up and down. So I'll get precise move, oh, and scope in. So I'll say we can look up like that, and then we'll have one for the downward. Scope in, oh, right. Probably do that because we're going to be looking at the feet then. So maybe just do it less so. And now we have like a timeline that represents looking up and down. So we actually probably want to have, when you look up, so like move closer. Maybe that's just too far up because then we won't see the hand even. So let's do that maybe. Yeah, so I have like one row for the camera. So I'll just give that a color for now, but you can give that a name as well. And then we have one for the actual puppet. So if we just rotate that down a bit, like that. And obviously you can finesse this so that it's just right for your purposes. Okay, and then so this one will go like that. And it doesn't matter actually how long these take, because we're actually going to control the playhead to just tell it what angle to be at, sort of thing. So if I just put this on loop, and then we can, so it kind of looks okay. It's probably looking too high though. Right, so we could like bring that down like that, for example. Make sure it's still in frame. Okay, something like that. And I'm using L1 and left and right on the D-pad there. So we want to control, we want to tell the timeline where along this, where the playhead should be along this. So if we wire something into it, we can give it a percentage of how far through the timeline it should be, and you can see it updating the puppet and the view over there. But we want to be able to hold up and that it slowly increase, this percentage to slowly increase over time as we hold it. So I'm going to use a timer. So a timer has this timer output. So yeah, this is like the percentage of the way through the timer it currently is. So if you play time, it will just go up with the percentage. But then instead of just letting it play, we can give it speed. Give it a speed setting. So if we let this go lower and wire that into the start timer, now if I play time, you set that to 0, now it's got 0 speed because we're sending it 0. And if we give it a negative number, it's got a negative speed, so it's going down and positive, and then it's going up. So that's the kind of value we have from this Y output, negative and positive. So we can wire that into a timer. And we can see as we push up, or yeah, if we push like down and then we push up, it's like increasing and decreasing depending on how far we're pushing the stick. And that's exactly what we want. So I'm going to put this to like about a second. and have this at 0.5 seconds, so it starts kind of in the middle and at 50%. So now we have a way of increasing and decreasing a percentage over time by pushing the stick. That's what we want for this playhead thing. So now that percentage, so we're driving this going up and down with the stick, and then that's moving the playhead forwards and backwards. So now I'm pushing up and pushing down, and it's kind of around the wrong way, but we can fix that by using a calculator and multiplying it by -1, and that will just be going the other way basically. So we don't need those. We just go straight through the timer into the timeline. So now pushing up and pushing down. So if I go into over here, now I'm pushing up and pushing down. So you'll probably have to spend some time like getting it to feel right and look right or whatever. But yeah, so this is the kind of thing to do.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.